Hello, hello. Greetings, everybody. Happy March. Happy day after St. Patrick's Day. Happy Beatles trivia, right? Hi, Bay Lady here. Sharon Schultz is my name. And they call me Bay Lady because I do virtual tours of the Chesapeake Bay area, um, different tourist sites and like downtown Baltimore and places like that. So if you want to see some of the local happenings here in the Maryland area, um, find the Bay Lady. I'm on Facebook and also YouTube. But today it's not Bay Lady. Today it's Beatles trivia. I've been a Beatle fan, oh gosh, all my life. I'm sure, yeah, all my life. I probably have a Beatles song that goes with every occasion in my life, every main happening. There's probably a Beatles song that I could associate with it. So I'm what you call a lifetime fan, I suppose. And anyway, that's why we're doing Beatles trivia. I have my little Beatles thing here. If you notice, my background is Abbey Road, the actual crosswalk where the Beatles crossed. I crossed there too. I was there. Yes, I was. I have documentation to prove it somewhere. I think I have a pen or something that says I was there. Don't know where that went, but anyway, yeah. So I am like a major Beatles fan here. I have been forever. So I like doing Beatles trivia, and it's nice to discuss current happenings and things with the Beatles as well. Of course, not all of the Beatles, but we still have two left, and they're still pretty active. Actually, I have to say, I was reading on Facebook that Paul McCartney was going to take a step back and enjoy his grandchildren, his life, not do music anymore. And I thought that was kind of weird. There was something kind of odd about it. And then not long afterwards, I get a email from uh, McCartney Enterprises or MPL, that he's getting ready to do a 2-day tour. So, you know, you got to watch what's out there. You just never know, right? So we should probably get to the point here. Let me just say a couple more things. Like if you want more information about my tours, I'm on Facebook, the Bay Lady, okay, and I am on YouTube, Sharon Schultz, the Bay Lady. So that's where you can find information about my tours. That's where I post most of my information, and that's where I run my tours from those platforms. So easy to catch up with me. My tours are all free, even the virtual ones where I go here, there, and everywhere. They are free tours. I run off of tips, gratuities, things of that nature. That's what puts gas in my car to keep me moving. So, especially nowadays, gas is so high. Anywho, if you would like to support the Bay Lady, you could go to buymeacoffee.com, and gratuities are accepted there. You can find the link on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page. Okay, so now to business. Beatles Significa. This is a card game. It is Beatles Significa, a game for 2 or more players. 832 questions and answers covering every aspect of the Beatles phenomenon. And so this is what I have used for most of my Beatles trivia events here. I have a few other sources that I use as well, but this is kind of my favorite. And this is an antique, actually. This card game is from the 1980s. So let's select a card here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Right here. Here's one. Are we ready to play Beatles Significa? Before the Beatles launched into Shout on British TV, John complimented the audience with, "You've got a very blank face," the end. Okay, some of these questions are a little strange, but okay, so let's do that again. Before the Beatles launched into Shout on British TV, John complimented the audience with, "You've got a very blank face," the end. So what did he say? You've got a very what face? I could guess a very kind face. You don't know. Let's see what the answer is. That's probably easier. Lucky. You've got a very lucky face. Okay. What song does Tiny Tim sing and play on the Beatles' 1968 Christmas record? Oh my goodness. What song does Tiny Tim sing and play on the Beatles' 1968 Christmas record? Anybody know? Da, 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 da. Counting down, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The answer is Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. No, it's Nowhere Man. The answer is Nowhere Man. Did you know that? I hadn't a clue. Nowhere Man. Next question. In what song does George, in spite of warnings, remain convinced she's an angel sent to me? In what song does George, in spite of warnings, remain convinced she's an angel sent to me? And the answer is Devil in Her Heart. Oh yeah, she's got the devil in her heart. Oh no, this I can't believe. Okay, yeah, that one. Okay, thank you very much. What does, oh God, I can't, let me see. Some of these songs. What did Benno Dom make for the Beatles in 1962? All right, I don't get this at all. What did Benno Dom, 2 words, Benodom, make for the Beatles in 1962? Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, so I'm going to look. Oh, their first suits. That must have been a designer. Benno Dom made their first suits. Okay. Well, that's interesting to know, right? Next. Complete the line sung by George at the Star Club. Ready? I grabbed my baby, tried to give her a squeeze. There's nothing shaking but the... Okay. These questions on this card are different. Complete, let me say it again. Complete the line sung by George at the Star Club. I grabbed my baby, Try to give her a squeeze. There's nothing shaking but the trees. Leaves on the trees. There's nothing shaking but the leaves on the trees. Boy, these questions I'm not familiar with. The cool thing about this Beatles Significa is that a lot of the questions pertain to, like, not only the American album releases, but also the British album releases. The British and American albums were not necessarily the same. Sometimes they would have a different cover. Sometimes the order of the songs would be different. Sometimes the title would even be different. So there were distinct most of the time, especially in the early days in the beginning. I guess they felt that the British market and the American market were different, had different, I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the questions. That's what I know. Whose signature was missing from the Beatles' contract with Brian Epstein? I didn't know there was one missing, did you? Okay, so which Beatle didn't sign Epstein's contract? Gee, was it because they didn't like him, or they weren't available, or maybe George, because he wasn't old enough to sign a contract? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, Brian's. Brian's signature was missing from Brian's contract. Well, wasn't that interesting? Yes, indeed. Very interesting. Okay. Next question. In what song does John sing, "If the sun has faded away, I'll try to make it shine"? What song does John sing the line, "If the sun has faded away, I'll try to make it shine"? Interesting, yes. I can't think of what song it is. Can you? Anybody? Nobody? Let's see. All right, let's go to the answer. I give up. Okay, anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Okay. On their 1967 Christmas message, the Beatles sang, "Get one of us for your blank. Get one of us for your blank." Oh boy. Okay, so it's two blanks. It was a Christmas message. And they sang, "Get one of us for your," get one of us for your. So they're repeating that twice. So I'm guessing they must want two separate words. So let's see what the answer is. Trousers and hair. Get one of us for your trousers. Get one of us for your hair. I'm not getting it, are you? Okay, well then. All right, so that's the end of this card. On this side anyway. So let's do the other side here. The Beatles press officer who wrote material for the early fan club Christmas messages was named Tony. Okay, so they want the last name of the Beatles press officer who wrote the Christmas messages. Okay, so anybody know who that might be? The Beatles press officer who wrote the Christmas messages. I'm thinking in like the very early years, like maybe even that first Christmas in what, 1964, 65, something like that. You think? All right. So who was it? Tony. Drum roll, please. Tony Barrow. Did anybody know that? Did anybody know Tony Barrow was the Beatles press agent? I did not. And everybody's trying to be my baby. George boasts of how many times before he got home. What? And everybody's trying to be my baby. George boasts of how many dates before he got home. Anybody? George boasts of how many dates before he got home? Dates for what? Girls, music, what? Don't know. But there were 19 of them. That I do know. 19 dates. Okay. In the 1968 Christmas message, who were huddled around the fire in the center of the room? In the 1966 Christmas message, who were huddled around the fire in the center of the room? Podgy the Bear and Jasper. Podgy the Bear and Jasper were huddled in the center of the room during the Christmas message of 1966. Okay, next. In whom does John issue this order? To whom does John issue this order? Run and tell your mama I want you to be my bride. Run and tell your mama I want you to be my bride. Who does John say that to in a song? I am supposing. Let us see. The answer is Dizzy Miss Lizzie. You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzie, the way you rock and roll. Yeah. Okay. What name did John and Yoko apply to their method of total communication, which supposedly eliminated prejudice? What name did John and Yoko apply to their method of total communication, which supposedly eliminated prejudice? Anybody have an idea? Bagism. Okay, bagism. You remember that? When they sat in bags, all covered up? Bagism. Yeah, interesting. Okay, next question is, who handles lead vocal and lead guitar on Another Girl? Lead vocal and lead guitar on Another Girl. Okay, I know Another Girl. Lead guitar and lead vocal. Paul? I want to say Paul. Anybody want to say anything? So, and the answer is, I'm right, it was Paul. Woohoo, I got one. Look at that. Okay, next. On the wedding album, Yoko sings Stay in Bed for Bed Peace, while John plays guitar chords from what Abbey Road song? Oh, really? On the wedding album, Yoko sings Stay in Bed for Bed Peace, and John plays guitar chords from which Abbey Road song? Huh. Like in the background? Let's see. Because. Okay, Because is the Abbey Road song that he's playing the chords from while she's singing something else. It's kind of interesting. Interesting combo. All right, last question on this card. Which Beatles song starts with the word love sung 9 times? Which Beatles song starts with the word love sung 9 times? Okay, come on, you guys know this. I know you know this, right? What Beatles song has love, 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 do do do, love, 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 do do do, love, love, love. All you need is love. That's the answer. All you need is love. Yes, indeed. Okay, well, we did good. We did a whole card. Hopefully you learned some new Beatles facts that, well, new to you, not new facts, but facts that you didn't know, new to you, right? There were a few here for me, I'll tell you that. You know, just when you think you know everything there is to know about the Fab Four, something else pops up. These were some complicated lads, were they not? Well, that is it for me today. So I hope you enjoyed this lunchtime trivia escape from the norm and do something a little different. Relax your mind, relax your brain, and talk about the Beatles. All right. Well, keep looking on Facebook and YouTube, Bay Lady, and look for more Beatle Trivia Days coming up soon. Till then, ta, bye, slán.